Hello, I'm your host, Julie Barraza, and welcome to SPOTcast. I'm joined by my guests, Haley Adame and Laura Lozano. Recently at the Arizona State Capitol, a group of high school students were voicing their support for in-state tuition for DACA students to state representatives. The program allows some undocumented people who've come to the U.S. to have a 2-year renewable protection program from being deported. However, a female citizen at the Capitol was spreading incorrect information and untrue facts on DACA. How does this affect us as teens? Who is exactly involved? All this and more. This is SPOTcast. Has anything like this happened to you or someone you know?
Yes, in fact, these were my friends. They went to the Capitol to try to advocate for in-state tuition for DACA students because they believed it was unfair that while DACA students were living here and paying residence fees for the state, they still had to pay out-of-state fees to go and further their education, something that shouldn't be stopped because furthering the education of the students furthers the education of the society, making it a better place.
Who is standing up for the DACA students?
There's some organizations like Aliento that was there trying to advocate for DACA students to be able to have in-state tuition, but other than that, the students should be advocating for themselves because it's their future. They should be able to decide what they want to do, what should happen with their society, with what they're involved with.
Parents, too, are also supporting, of course, DACA students. They're their children, family members, and also close friends like your friends. So also an important thing is maybe public figures. Since this is a huge community, a lot of people will stand up for DACA students. So, is it on adults or is it on the teens to speak up on the issues that affect on young adults such as DACA?
It is on both adults and teens to to speak up on these issues because we need perspectives from both sides, because if we don't have perspectives from either side, we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, there's some adults that will go out of their way to help people in need, but it's on the people themselves to stand up for themselves. And if DACA students won't stand up for themselves and to begin with, then people won't see a reason to stand up for others.
Why did the woman begin spreading false information?
I believe she just had her own opinion, and then she wanted to voice her opinion and get others to state it as truth.
How does the people who are spreading false information affect us as teenagers?
It affects us as teenagers because we're going to start wondering who exactly are we supposed to trust when someone's trying to give us information. And if we can't communicate with other people, we can't eventually learn how to trust others.
False information doesn't really get us anywhere either. The point of information is so that we learn and grow from what we hear and what we see. So, what will these false accusations mean in the future?
It will mean that we're going to have to be more careful on who we listen to, because as people are now spreading all kinds of information out there, and some of it might not be true and some of it might be true. We just got to make sure we got to find our reliable resources now.
How are the parents affected by this?
Well, I'd say the parents are pretty affected by this because it is their children that are getting punished for their mistakes, because some of the DACA students were brought over by their parents, having not a conscience of what they were doing while the parents did. And some parents, while they know they did wrong, they want the best for their children. And even in these conditions, they still wish for the best that their children can have.
If you were to witness someone spreading false information to degrade a certain group of people, what would you do as a teenager?
Me personally, I would just ignore them because they got their own issues and I have my own problems to deal with, and they're not one of them.
Also learn from what they're doing. I mean, yes, we have the freedom of speech, of course, but it also comes with disadvantages because some of the things people say is obviously wrong and maybe not valid, but understand that we should come together to understand the truth and the information. Thank you, Haley. And that would have to do for today's episode of SPOTcast. I would like to thank my guests, Laura Lozano and Haley Adame. For Spot 127, I'm Julie Barraza.